all right. Here I go again. Another video. So I've done quite a bit since the last recording, where I laid out the foundations of what I was doing in Game Maker, making a game, and I'm not going to show. Well, I guess I can go in here and open it up. You can see all the. I've got the fonts. I've got I've got stuff laid out, and it's a tower defense game is what I'm working on. If you're looking over here, you can see I've got paths. I've got the beehive enemy or tower that I've set up. The jock is the enemy. Um, Setting up my fonts. This is all restricted because on the map here. Let me show you the room. Down here. Got so much going on. I should have been more prepared for this. Rooms are down here. Room level 1. Okay. This is the level here. Everything that's red is blocked out. That's on this level here. These are all restricted. That keeps you from being able to place a tower down on the path. There are 4 different paths that are randomly selected, or they can go in order. That'll be depending on a setting that people have. It's not in there available. You can see I got the library that I started with in the last video and the functions, but I've expanded greatly on that. And what I aim to do in this video here is I've been play testing. I've been play testing, so I'm going to play test on the video here, and I'm gonna play some tower defense right here. So I've got a game open. This is the starting window here, and you've got the option of random start, which will randomize the lanes, or regular start game, and then an exit game. That's all that I have available now, but there will be more. There will be, this is the start. I'm just learning this stuff. I don't know games. I mean, I started off in like 1980 with basic programming, and I'm an amateur programmer. I am not a professional coder, but I have an idea of object-oriented languages, and I'm able to kind of pick it up. So here we go. Let's start. They're coming down the towers here, and you click on the tower and lay it down. You can't lay it down on a path, but you can lay it down anywhere where it's white. I'm going to start back here because I know that this tower does 20%. You can see up here when you hover over it, it changes the stats. I've did all that. It does. It has a velocity of 10, 20 damage, and a range of 150, a fire rate of 3 shots per second. It'll keep track of the kills, and the XP there is how much XP it goes to level up. So I've actually added levels into all these and everything like that. I only have 1 tower right now. I'm just now. I mean, I've got 1 tower and 1 enemy. I don't have any sound built into the game. I started to do that, but I'm that'll be in a future video. I'll add the soundtrack and the sound and everything. Today is just the first play test of the start of the tower defense game that I'm making. And I actually have the ability to speed up. If I hit the space bar, I can go faster. And that'll make the time go faster. And if you hit pause, the escape button, it'll pause everything. It pauses bullets. It pauses everything. And as you can see, the levels, the speed went up, their health went up, and the number alive, they got 1 more. And this adjusts, the 1 is the level. In case I make more maps, this will go to a 2. And the 2 over here is the number of waves. The shots are how many shots have been fired so far. This is how many spawns have happened in the game so far, and this is how many I've killed. And of course, how many towers I've laid down. And when you hover over that, you got, the fire rate, the kills, the range, the damage, velocity, XP. And it's a work in progress, and this is not the permanent UI. I've got a tile set that I can make this look better, with the colors and everything. I'm just learning. This is, my second video here of trying to put all this together. Okay, I got to get another tower going here quickly because and that's one mechanic here. I only have 1 health. That means if 1 guy hits the end, I die here. And the way that's offset is I can buy more health with 1,000 cash. It's a lot, but This is a slow burn tower game. It goes as high as level 100, so I might as well speed up. I hope this is recording. Let me make sure. Yeah, it is. Looks like it is. It's going to be better with sound in the future. For right now, I'm just going to have to be satisfied with playing this. Now, it seems like this might be overwhelming for me or I mean, like my ability to build power outmatches their ability to get to me. But in late game, the last run I ran of this, I got to level 103, and their health was at like 14,000, and their speed was like at 5 or 6. So 5 times what the speed they are now with 15,000 health. It's insane. See, this right here, when it's half and half like that, it means that he is ready to level up. See, his XP required is 0, but I don't have enough money for it. If it was full yellow, I would be able to do the level up, but I don't have enough cash for it. So I programmed little things like that in there to where it's going to keep track of that. And of course, these towers, can all be animated and changed later, but I don't know. I kind of got a charm from this, and I was thinking about just naming all the towers after a number, and making it basic like this because early on it's really cheesy, but as you play, the colors really start to come into play because the bullets have colors that match their towers, and it has a light bright effect. The light bright that you had as a kid, it creates that same kind of effect. So I don't know. I'm thinking about keeping this graphic style and just expanding on the mechanics. What little graphic style there is, it works. And I can upgrade these. See, they go to the next level. There are 6 levels to these, and each one you can see like this. The fire rate it goes up. The velocity is at 10, 20, and 20 damage. This is at 11 and 21. The range goes up 10. The fire rate goes up 1. So everything goes up 1 basically on these tower stats as you upgrade them. And it doesn't seem like much, but that fire rate is what matters. Is that this is firing 1 more bullet per second than this, and when you get to level 6, it's firing 8 shots to this 3 shots. That makes all the difference in the world. And the bullet velocity matters too because the guys get going faster. I'm gonna let my cash build up here a little bit because I think I want to add to my tower a little bit. And in the future, I'm going to add it to where like when you upgrade your tower, this will change. This graphic will change from a simple box to a little shed to a little house to a little castle. As you upgrade the hit points, it'll upgrade the image. That's a plan. And this is all just level 1. And the original premise I had for this game, the reason why these are all named B and these guys are called jocks that are coming and everything like that is because my original premise is to make this kind of a risque game and call it Daddy's Girl, and you would be a farmer that's trying to protect the daughter from all the lecherous people of the world. And the first wave would be all the jocks that want to come to the farm and date your daughter. So you got to take them all out. Then I was thinking levels, like in a mall. If you're in a mall, you got all the Foot Locker kids coming over trying to get to your daughter, and you got to put obstacles up around the mall, and you know and the small town ice cream shop. You could do all that. That's what I originally intended. That's why these are called beehives. That's why these guys are called jocks. um, but yeah, I don't know how much that idea is going to stick around. That was where I started. It was like, oh, cool. And I love tower games. I'm not just making this because it's fairly simple. I'm making it because I love tower games. There's a game called Toy Defense that made a version 2, and it was the only reason I even played Facebook for 4 years there. I was completely down on Facebook, didn't want to have nothing to do with it, but I played the shit out of that toy defense. I also played the shit out of, the Plants vs Zombies and stuff. I just like the casual, simplistic strategy nature of these games. They're really great. And now that I know I'm doing a tower defense game in a future video, like I'll document making a level and making a mob and all that, but I don't know. Right now I think I'm just wanting to level these guys up. See right here, I can add 1 hit point for $1,000 if I click this. I'm going to do that. Boom. My cash went down, but my hit points went up. And now I can upgrade one of these. Go to a blue there. See, their movement speed is up to 112. Their health started at 80. Now it's at 136. That really climbs there. So you can't just pour all your cash into the tower here and think you're going to get away with it. The numbers start getting to be overwhelming. The speed becomes overwhelming. You do have to build on the board. And you can't just turtle back here. You have to start putting stuff out here to get advanced damage too. It becomes a strategy. I've only played a little bit, of the earlier version of this, and because I have another version. This is an updated version of since the last video. I've been working a lot. But I played a lot with this style, and it definitely has a strategy. I'm incredibly surprised at how playable this already is. I mean, right now it's super playable. It feeds that tower defense itch. See, when they go full yellow, you can upgrade them. Cost cash, obviously. And I can start expanding, I think. I'm going to start getting on this side of the road. I want to. My OCD doesn't want them to be too off. I just because you can place them literally anywhere except on top of another tower or on top of the lane. So, and that's something that's unique to tower game. Most tower games have, like your 5 set spots or 10 set spots that you can place the guys, and it they're designed around quick 3 minute levels. This is the opposite of that. You can place your stuff anywhere, and the level could last an hour. You know, it. This is just the start. I'm gonna try to get more enemies in there. I was also thinking about doing like pets. If you lay out the chicken, the chicken will give you, increase attack damage or whatever on an area. If you lay out the pig, maybe it'll increase your cash. If you it I don't know, lay out a cow and you get better, health on your tower. I don't know. I'm just thinking of the things that I could add to this that I will be adding to this. Ooh, that's purple now. So its range is 13, damage 23, fire rate of 6. So yeah, this thing right here is firing twice as fast as this one and hitting 3 damage harder and firing the bullets are 3 speed faster. It's got, range. This one might not level up. It still needs 188 hit points, and this one might overtake its ability to ever see damage until the end game when it'll be too late. So you kind of got to watch that. Maybe I shouldn't have leveled up that purple so fast because it'll start killing everything. But I do have a mechanic set up where you get 20 experience for a kill, but you get 1 experience for a hit. So you can still level these guys up, um, even if they're not getting kills. Even if the big guys are leeching all the kills, the lower guys will still level up. I'm gonna smoke some pot here. I'm gonna level up another tower. Right now there is no limit on how high you can build your tower, but you are kind of limited because of cash, and you've got to build your dead board. That right now these guys are fairly weak and fairly slow, and I've got good firepower. I can handle taking some hit points, but I have to start expanding my board here real soon because that health will get out of control and fast. It really does. I'm talking their enemy health right here. It's at 183. It started off at 80. We're 18 levels in, or 18 waves in. I want to level up on this side, and I think put more. One more right here. Boom. Love it. And later I'm going to add a zoom to where you can go in and stuff. I have the camera control code all figured out. I haven't put it in, which will allow you to zoom in on an area and, see these guys as they take their shots and stuff. I don't know if I want to level this one up yet because it'll eliminate these guys' ability to get kills. And I want this guy to get some more action if he can, and this guy. So I'm going to leave him be for a bit, collect more cash. Because if I level this one up one more, it's going to start doing all the killing, and these guys won't get any shots in. And if this guy levels up one more, they start to reach this lane over here, and just something I noticed. This guy's still getting any shots in? Not really. I think I'm going to do another tower since I have the cash for it. XP does not accumulate when you're like this. And every time you upgrade, XP is reset for the next level, so it does not carry over. Like if this, all the kills here are being wasted on that. He will. So that's one of the things you do when you don't level up your guy, is you kind of waste the XP as far as leveling up the guy. Ooh, he's orange now. 7 fire rate. There's only one more level after orange, and that's red. That'll be the highest level. He's got 1,000 XP to go to get to the next level. This guy's got 26. He's got 68, 79. These guys might make it. This guy's, I don't think he's going to see any more action. I think the next time he shoots at somebody, it's going to be at the end of the game. Which could be a while from now. I need to get some music going. I can do that in a minute here. I can do that without you being bothered by it, or the YouTube censors. I still can't believe I did all this. And yes, I did watch videos and stuff, but there's nothing in there that's cut and paste. I wrote all the code that's in there that is doing everything here, and I think I've got a good grasp on it to where I can expand on it. That I I I I know how to add other mobs. Mobs that do things like slow down the time. Like I put something here that will just slow down everything that passes by it, or I can also do randomize these guys, change their colors, and maybe give some more hit points, some faster than others, some slower. Make special golden ones that give extra cash when they get killed. Yeah, I'm gonna expand on this. This is, like I say, this is just a playtest video to show you where I'm at, but I'm actually gonna make and release a game here. A tower defense cheese ball game. But it's a little different than the other tower defense games out there. It is. I haven't seen this mechanic where you can buy your health, and I have not seen a game that allows you to just put everywhere. I could have hundreds of towers. I could go. You could go tall, which is just focusing on these guys right here to make them all level, or I can go wide and use this eight. I could just be placing one dude's. Sorry, burping. Fried chicken I had for dinner. Put one dude everywhere. You can go taller, you can go wide with your strategy here. Strategy becomes a thing. It's really surprising, but I guess it's just like any other tower defense game in that regard. That let's smoke some pot. I have to go to town this morning. I think I mentioned that going to Denver, but that's a couple hours away. So hopefully this video will be long since over by then. And yay! I'm gonna buy another health. No. So I'm a fairly political person if you've ever seen any of my videos before, and what a fucking political week we've had. I don't think I actually have a college degree in history, and it's actually sociology, but it's a minor in history, and I I I don't think America's ever seen you know a more bizarre and flip-floppy and tumultuous and whatever month. I mean, the Biden debate, it's what an embarrassment, and then a presidential assassination, then the RNC, then or assassination attempt. It's just fucking crazy. And then then Biden steps down, and I'm not going to get into the weeds of all that, but it is remarkable. It is a remarkable series of events. Um, doesn't happen like that, in 1 month. Those are all events that happen like every 5 years apart, and if that. Anyway, that's all you hear about these days, man. It's fucking on every channel. I wake up, man. God, I couldn't stand it. It was just like every time I wake up, the first thing I do is I roll over and I click and I turn on the TV. That provides light in my room depending on what time of day it is and everything. And it just like fucking. I don't care whether you love him or hate him. Don't you get tired of seeing Trump's fucking mug? Don't you get tired of it? It's just that's why it's like I'm not a big fan of Camilla, but fuck, it's refreshing. It's refreshing to have an option that is not the same old shit that we've had year after year after year. The the Republicans and the Democrats roll out the same shit every year, and it's really refreshing. Now this guy is actually going to reach this lane here. Those guys are going to clip his border, and he's going to be able to fire at them. See, watch. They're gonna clip right on the edge of his border, and he'll take shots, and that'll spray these guys over here, and yeah, it becomes a nice little thing if I can get these guys to level up too. See, I'm already up to 6 health on my tower there. I think one more right here now. I didn't mean to get that gap. My OCD is freaking out. But I can't possibly cover every square inch of this before I die. So freaking out about that is ridiculous. But I am going to put a system in this. Part of the playtesting here is to see, how far you go on the levels, what the scoring is like, and then I'm going to ultimately put a gold, bronze, gold, bronze, silver medal system, depending on how many waves you've got, how many kills you got. Maybe even figure out a way to to store a couple guys. That's a mechanic I've seen in games where, like, if I want to take one of my red guys and throw him in on the next level, he starts off right there at level 6. I like the way these guys are sprayed. They just spray along here. I got to get this guy up to rip pink too, and then he'll be able to hit over there as well. Leery of, well, yeah. So it just pushes it back farther and makes this guy less likely to get a shot off. In fact, if I upgrade him, he'll never get the shot. So I'm gonna wait, take away the ability to even upgrade it. But I want this guy right here to get. He needs 263 more shots. Then he can reach this lane, and then I can push up this way. Smoke some pot. This might be a little bit long a video. I don't know how. I guess the last run was it was a little while, an hour maybe. I don't want to level him up because I want to get back here. Uh-oh. Oh, it's because I minimized it. Yeah, don't do that, Jay. I guess if I minimize it, OBS stops playing it. So don't do that. Come on, how close is this guy? I'm going to keep leveling up until this guy gets some. This guy needs to get some play. 263. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to make it. The funny thing is if I put one right here, that will reach this lane. And when you have one picked up, you can right click and sell it back. So I got my cash back. Yeah, he's not seeing any more. Might as well give up on him and just start advancing because I'm losing kills. What I mean by that is all that all that XP that he gained when these things are ready to level up and you don't level up, they keep gaining XP and killing and stuff. But then once you level them up, all that XP goes away and they don't get that extra bonus over and above their level. You waste XP when you don't level these guys up as soon as possible. But the flip side of that is if you level them up too fast, you eliminate your ability to level up these other things. Like these guys back here are not going to see action again for a while, and by the time they're needed, things are going to be too strong and just run right by them. So you want to try to get your stuff built up. It's kind of paramount. The difference between the fire rate at level 1 versus level 6 is just, it's I'm gonna put DPS counters in here to where it tracks shots and misses, and I'm gonna do the math on that and get a DPS counter to where when you hover over that, it says their DPS. In fact, I'm gonna try to do 2 counters on that. I'm gonna do the theoretical DPS, which is based on the bare numbers. If there's something going by you and you're constantly firing and constantly hitting, this is what your DPS would be. and then the actual numbers, because if I put a guy in the corner right here, like I'm going to pick up, if I put a guy in the corner right here, he's not going to get as much shots in as this guy over here, because this guy gets him on a headlong and his shots just keep going past the guys that miss into the second guys. But this guy right here is firing at weird angles. So corners are not a good place to build. Inside corners like this, that you think they are because they've got a good wide range of coverage on the slower guys, but they don't get a head-on shot, and that's what you're trying to get is a head-on shot. That's why a lane like this is great. All the stuff that's built on this side will only be firing head-on into the things. End caps like right here is only going to be firing straight ahead, and it's not just a matter of where you're firing, but where you fire after. Because I've also noticed in early iterations is if I put a bunch of guys over here on this side of the road, they are constantly firing out into the field. So even if they miss their guy, their bullet might travel all the way over here and hit somebody. And it becomes a thing where, yeah, I'm gonna go up to level 10. Then I'm gonna stop on levels for a while. That's level 10 is what most games have as your starting health. 10 hit points. So I'm going to start expanding. I give up on this guy. He's got up to 241 there. He was at 263 forever. Yeah. See, he's red. That's as high as it gets. And look at his fire rate of 8, 15 velocity, 25 damage, range 200. Yeah, it's all this is arbitrary in the sense that I can I can I can program that to be anything. I can make these things go up a whole lot of damage. I can make them go up a little. I can make the XP weird. I don't know. It all this. There's going to be a lot of play testing to get the balance right on this. I want it. I want a long, slow burn uh, tower defense, but I want the balance to be right. The trick is to get it to where they slowly overwhelm you and get to the end, and not that sudden break where all of a sudden they're just going too fast for you to get them. You want to get it before that. It's a less satisfying loss at the end to have them just suddenly run faster than your bullets. It's a more satisfying loss when you've managed to just keep up with the growth of of their power all the way to the end and just hanging on, and then just make it. That's a more satisfying conclusion, I think. Come on, get it right. There we go. Let's get some of these forward thinkers here. I think you can actually go 3 deep here, because I think this guy will actually, 3 deep will still reach the lane. See what I mean? It develops a light bright kind of effect. And if this game actually catches on, if people actually played it, if it became a thing, I could see nerds out there designing patterns from the colors here, like intentionally not leveling things up just so that they can get a pattern going. I think I'm going to get another health since nothing's leveling up here. Their health is up to 680. It's going to start getting out of control. It's if I don't start getting the damage going up here. I need some pieces up on the front here. Okay, I'm going to start right back here, I think, right here. A lot of leveling up. Still 800 cash. See, these guys will level up shooting that lane, and they'll help me on this lane later. I'm going to take the cash. And I got to do something with the graphics, jazz up these just jazz it all up. But I don't know. It's God, part of me thinks, man, it's got a charm. I know it was just thrown together, but it's still charming. It came out it came out a lot better than I could have hoped for as far as just throwing it together. I watched a dude's video on how to do it and said I can do that, and this is the result of it. It's not as simple as that, though. I mean, I will say this that the Game Maker engine that I'm using here has advanced a lot in the 7 or 8 years that all these tutorials have aged. It's there's a lot of little hacks and shortcuts and things that I've done in my code that I had to figure out or rely on my past programming knowledge to think, well, maybe there's a better way, and sure enough, it has become a better thing. So the tutorials are great to watch as far as getting a foundation to build on, but know that you're going to encounter little quirks, little things that don't quite work out the way they do in the video, the tutorial video. It's you're gonna encounter things like that. But if you know programming language at all, you'll be able to get around it. This is amazingly doable for a single person to put together a game like this. Um, that's the shorthand in technology. That's what automation is doing for us as a society. Um, in you know, I don't know, 50 or 100 years, people are going to be able to open up their little apparatus, whether it's a pad or a computer or a watch or a smart visor or whatever, and they're going to be able to say, all right, I want to watch an action movie where the lead star is an anti-villain. There's got to be some romance. I want it to be rated R. You basically say these things, and boom, the program makes you a feature-length film that is indistinguishable from anything you see now. And you did it with a couple sentence prompts. That is where the technology is going. That is what every generation of technology shorthands the generation before it, and we come out with editors and all kinds of little things that allow us to you know to produce things better. I mean, this game would have taken whole teams in the 80s to make for the Atari, but now one guy can do it in their spare time on a computer. I wouldn't say spare time. I've spent a lot of time on this. I, I've been at this, I don't know, 70, 80 hours a week for the last 3.5 weeks. Just because it's fucking fun. It is. It's fun. It's like playing a game, making a game. And I have ideas for other games too that I could make on here. A 2D, Diablo light type game. I I have, I have an idea for how to do that. See, these guys keep upgrading, and eventually they're going to be deadly to this side as well as this side. expand this a little bit. One more here. So I like the way the bullets fly. As you can see when you pause it, you can see they all got their own color based upon the tower that fired them, and that was not easy to do. And there's no tutorials out there to show you how to keep to have a bullet that fires from the thing keep track of the turret that fired it. You know that it turns out that it was actually fairly simple to do, but tutorial wise, it was a pain in the ass to figure out how simple it is. I just had to pass the tower ID on to the bullet creation. Not hard, but not something that you can just, oh, let's just do that without, some, I don't know. Suppose I can go down this way here, even though these guys aren't going to reach this in lane. They will reach that middle lane. And it adds up. See, the numbers are going down. These guys will get their play. Need to advance over here now. I had it. Zoom is going to help with that because my OCD, I just want them to be perfect, and it's not easy to get it exactly right. And I suppose I could put some kind of snap system in there, but that kind of ruins the idea of the free for all placement that I like the idea of not being restricted as to where every tower game you know in Plants vs Zombies you have to put it in the lane, and the tower defense they had preset turret spots where you put your turrets, and it, I like the freedom. I there's this does provoke genuine strategy. Just whipping through that cache. I do got a little bit of health buildup, but that's not going to matter when these guys start going by. They're going to go by at 20 in a run. My health, it really doesn't matter. I could have kept it at 1, and I'd have probably been better just spending, and that might be a strategy. That's I don't know. I'm still learning. That I'm still learning and adjusting the fire rates and the code. Because I did try a version where these got extreme upgrades. I don't know. I think that more turrets is better than stronger individual turrets with this kind of. I've got this whole board here where you can literally cover it with 1,000 turrets. It would make no sense to have you focusing on building a handful of them to be really strong. They, so I just I capped these at a relatively low limit and kept their price to get them relatively low so that you can expand and get red all over the board. Well, to a certain extent. I don't know. This is only my second real run at this latest version with all the values. Um, I've done a lot of tweaking with the code. I had cheaper guys, more damage, I had different things, and I finally got to a point with the last playthrough. It's like, okay, this is kind of a game now. I can do a video of this, and that's where we're at now. I'm showing you where I'm at. I hope this is still recording. Yes, it is. It's one thing I noticed on OBS is these files are kind of light too compared to like regular games. The graphics on this, it just I want to get these guys to be red. It makes a big difference. It really does. It does hurt that it's the final upgrade, in that you can't go any higher, and now these guys are wasted XP. I mean, that's 2,900 XP. See, once they get to level 6, it's just going to forever keep track of their XP, and it's just going to keep going higher and higher and higher. Come on, people now. Uh, ooh. Also looking forward to 7 days coming out. I'm waiting for their official drop. I mean, right now it's all an experimental branch, and I know I can play it, but I'm waiting for it to go official. Looking forward to playing that. Love that game. I think I need to start building out in here, start putting guys out here, because this is going to get to be overwhelming. Doobie doobie doo. Doob doobie doobie. Two more here. So even these guys don't kill anybody, they are getting the XP, the hits. I got to put the hit counter in there to track the shots they fired versus the shots that hit, so that you can get a hit percentage, and that'll help you plan, your angles. You can see, that at the corner it does a 60% hit rate, but on the inside it does an 80% hit rate, something like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing out random numbers, but you get the idea that if 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 I can start tracking the hit rate on these things, it'll help you calculate what the better angles are. That because there's this side shot, even though it's getting a spray, there's a lot of misses. Look at all these misses here. You know, but these guys over here have super high rates because they're aiming right on a focal spot that is getting hit, and that matters. But I'm intentionally doing this. I like the way this sprays this direction over here, so that it just gives me lots of, these guys are getting hit back here, so by the time he gets up here, he's been hit a whole bunch. This is a pretty powerful little alley here. It's just a lot of bullets, a lot of beehive bullets, as I call them. The idea was I was going to, do a little beehive graphic, and get in closer on it. And I don't know how good I am at graphics. I got a couple of programs to help me out with that, and I don't know. Like I said, I think there's a charm to this style here that I might just keep and build on. Smoke some more pot. Should probably buy some more health. Well, it's not going to matter. I'm at 68 in a run and a level right now. I'm still not certain that buying health is even a good strategy. I might get bet. That's 1,000 points a pop. That's a lot of upgrades that I could get here on the board. That it might be a better strategy just to ignore health and focus all out on damage, and know that when one crosses the line, you're dead, but you'll get more kills and last longer by focusing on damage. I don't know. I don't know. But that I don't know. I don't know that I want to figure that out in a developmental video before I've released the game to the public. Let you guys figure that out, and if I figure it out, keep it fucking hush. And yeah, I don't know. That's probably better. But you can watch these videos here and get an idea of where it stands. It's looking really good though, this run. I don't know. My last one I had more stuff over here, and I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I'm getting enough early damage. Like I should be killing. These guys should be taking damage right now over here. Their health is going to start really piling up. See, they're already up to 2,000 health. I didn't do very many tweaks between this game and the last game, so I'm looking 100 levels. I got to like level 103 or 104 last time, so that's kind of the bar now. Is if I can get to level 100. I can slow it down. This is the regular speed. That's the faster speed. It's twice as fast. I could. I'm thinking about adjusting that too to have a higher speed too, but I do think that there might be. I think the higher speed might actually provoke more misses in the shots, in that the bullets cover a larger area, and they might actually overshoot their. I don't know. Because okay, what's happening here is, even though it looks like these things are moving on a path, they're actually teleporting. Depending on Like the velocity on this one is 13. That means that these its bullets move 13 pixels every step. So it's basically a teleportation of 13 pixels. Now when I double that, let's say this guy has a velocity of 15, so that means he goes, if I double that's a step of 30 it goes in one thing, and this sprite right here has a size of 32. So this shot can almost teleport over the entire length of the mob in one frame. So you kind of got to watch that the faster speeds, it'll speed up the everything, but to a detriment of more missed shots that go right through things because it technically teleported over the shot or the enemy. So you got to watch that you don't want your velocities too high. If you set your velocity at 100, it's going to teleport. But I do got to start building up these other corners here. I think over here. These guys, even though they won't kill things, that they'll gain experience just shooting things as they go by, getting one or two pops in, and then once I level them up, they'll be more effective. Doobie doobie doo, doob doobie doobie doobie. I don't have any cash. Try clicking on. I gotta eliminate the ability to click on this. It shouldn't highlight at all when you're out of cash. I'm gonna eliminate that. I get to thinking about other games, and it's like they've all been kind of done. Like any game that I really consider making, ultimately, Wildlands has already done it. The game Wildlands is to me the perfect game, even though I don't play it. I don't play it because I don't like diving. And in that game, you have to dive to get a certain resource to advance your progression and building and everything. But the buildings in that the Wildlands game is Legos. I don't care what anybody says. It's the game that Legos wanted to make. It is the Legos game of my youth that you can build anything. It truly is unbelievable. But I don't play it because I don't like diving to get resources that you need to dive to get. Underwater triggers me. Come on, people now. Okay, right there. Come on, people now. They're up to 2,600 health. I'm going to resist the urge to start throwing down things up here. Even I'm going to focus on leveling up here and concentrated focus fire, on this alley and see if that's the way to go. So I can do a little bit more. Come on, people now. Gotta be perfect. Think round out this corner right here. Upgrade these. And let's start working on here. Come on, people now. Cry on your brother. Everybody get together. Yeah, I think one thing that's missing here is I start getting a lot of things that I can't upgrade because cash doesn't come in fast enough. That I want to work on some kind of cash getter. Like I was thinking, like a 1 in 10 chance that one of these guys spawns with 20% more health, but will give 100 points instead of the 20 coins. I don't know, something that there's cash getters. Then I also need more cash spenders. That things that you can. And I want some kind of system that carries over in between levels. That yeah, that the cash you have left over on this level, you can do something in like a lobby. I flew too far with this one. It's not perfect. I'm gonna smoke some more pot. It is 4:43 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, just outside Denver, Colorado. And July 23rd, yesterday was my mom's birthday. So there's that. Everybody say happy birthday to her face. One more over here. Probably even do one here. Probably even do a second one here. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, it's getting shots off. A lot of leveling up to be done. Start down here. Right now, I'm just calling this ape-like defense. I don't know what else to call it. It's not clever. I am not clever. But it's come out well. I love the way it shows, when you can't afford it, it shows that the level up's available, and when you can, it total. I think that system's turned out really well. Colorblind people are going to have a problem with it. I don't know what to do about that. Don't know what to do. You're always in the dark. I'm living in a powder keg and giving off sparks. I want to level up some of these guys in here, so I don't want to build something for a while. I got too many guys that need leveling up. Although I don't know that that strategy is actually beneficial. Although it seems to me it would be. If this guy fires 8 shots and the one guy fires 3, and this guy's velocity is 15 and that guy's is 10, the red guy is like the equivalent of 5 or 6 or 7 of these gray guys. I don't know what the math is exactly on that, but it seems to be significant that leveling up makes these guys much more powerful. So I think I'm going to focus on that. See if I can't outpace their ever growing health, which is just going to start getting out of hand because it's adding like I don't know 5% health or whatever every level, but that's to the existing level. So this next time around, it's adding it on the current level, not on the base 80 points that it started with. So it's exponential. It'll keep on growing. Same with speed, but at a much lower rate. I've adjusted that down to where because to prolong it, I wanted the longer levels. I do want the longer levels. I don't I don't want I want this to be casual, but in a you know still in a deeper way. This is just so satisfying watching the colorful spreads. I can't afford it anymore. Just add one every now and then. I'm not just willy nilly upgrading these. I have certain ideas. Like upgrading down here is good because an upgrade, this is the area that they're all ending in, so upgrading up here is good. And upgrading down here is good because this gets them on the way. These guys right here can wait longer because they're not really consequential to the action right now. They're not killing and they're not leveling up, or they're already at a point to where they can level up all the way later. I don't know. I'm I don't know if it's a strategy or not. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit 2 guys in here, so I'm going to put him up on the corner. think I'll just add one a level here and focus on upgrading at that. Something like this corner right here is great because you get focused fire where everybody is only focused on that lead guy. There's nothing else for them to shoot. See, they're starting to get a little farther down the lane here now. I don't have enough early killing, and I think that's going to matter. They're going to start overwhelming me because I'm not doing enough damage back here. I think I should start working on a little bit of it up here. Come on. Why do I gotta be perfect? I like this corner because it gets both lanes coming and going. Definitely want to upgrade these as soon as possible because right now they're garbage, but 6 red ones right there will be kind of, they'll do quite a bit of damage before they get back here. Definitely want to get those guys red as soon as possible because they'll focus this lane as a priority, but they'll also get this lane earlier when things aren't over here. See, I pushed it back just a little bit. I can't afford it. There we go. Jesus, all these yellows. But I want to spin over here. My last iteration had little hit point counters above these guys. I think I'm going to add that back because I like to see, how much damage they go through in an area. So I'm going to add that back, definitely. Can't do it in the middle of a game here. And I'm actually playing the game here. I don't want to just stop. Part of this just to see how high it goes, how high I can get it, to get some kind of baseline of how far it goes, so that when I develop a scoring system, I'll know, what the difference between a good run and a bad run is. I think it's a good strategy to get all these guys pink and orange because it does comparable damage to the red, but that extra level I could be spending on other guys to make them when I'm not making it red. I don't know. It's just a theory. Definitely want to get these back lanes as much as possible because they get the focused fire going on the incoming. These guys back here will only shoot at this lane, and that's important because these guys will be shooting off here and might miss the guy getting by. Gotta add sound. Little footsteps of the guys going by. All the clackety clacks of the bullets. I'm trying to think how that's going to work because I'm up to 593,000 shots now. I can't have 593,000 sound effects, can I? It seems to be a little extreme. Doobie doobie doo. It's coming along nicely. These guys are dying, but their 6,000 health is starting to get bothersome. It was at 12 or 13,000 when I lost the last game, so it's going to start getting there pretty fast, like in the next 10 levels. So I think I'm going to add the hit points to above this guy's head and call it a video. I'll do that at the end of this run. A little bit of coding in here, the video, just to prove that I'm actually coding this shit. I got to figure out a way to release like early demos to the public because I know 6 or 7 people are going to see this video, and at least one of them is going to be like, "Oh, I'd play that." So there's going to be one person out there that will want to play this, and I need to figure out how to get this to them. Before I get to the point of actually selling it, if I ever do that. Play testers. Like all these red. I need to get these guys going back here. probably put out a couple more here. Oh, they're getting kind of far down here. Yeah, definitely need to work on these guys back here because they got the focused fire going. See, these guys are almost making it by. It's going to be coming to an end here soon. I can feel it. They're at 7,000 health. I'm not doing enough upfront damage. I think that was a better strategy with the last run. Getting just nervous that they're making it down into this alley constantly. Except I guess they would have to because that's where all the killing is done. Yeah, I can feel it coming to an end. 96. And I did get to 103 last time, but I also made it harder with the adjustments I did in the middle. I, I made the cost to get the level 6 a little bit higher. So I might not make it to 103 like I did last time. It might be a little bit lower because of that. Because technically it's harder. Just that wall of red. Look at that. These guys might actually get some play here in a second. Ah, no cash. No cash left for me. Gonna die out in this level. 8,000 hit points. Yep, they're getting down here. I'm not gonna make it. This is the end. My only friend. The end. God, I hate the doors. Fucking hate the doors. I think I'm losing out because I don't have enough upfront damage at this point. I needed to get some more of that going earlier. Also, spending on, like I said, the health was nice, but I don't think at this point it's needed that I could have stockpiled cash because at this point, once they break through, they're coming through. They're coming through in mass. All 12 are going to come in here. Here they come right now. They're getting right to the end. One made it in. Nine hit points. 8 hit points. 6. So yeah, I don't think that I don't think that yeah, I don't think that was a good strategy. I think the next time I play this, I need to get some more upfront going sooner. And also, I don't think buying health helped me. I think that those points could have been used to kill things right now. Here comes the end. 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam! End game. Okay, we 99 waves at 86 towers up, 5,000 kills, 5,000 spawns. This is how many shots were fired, almost a million. At two, yeah, we spent 100,000. So let's do this. Go in here to Game Maker and go into the Jock. Add an event. We're going to add a draw event. And then we're going to draw set, which does it's my own special code, which, as you can see, it needs an alpha, a color, and an optional font. So we're going to say alpha, which is my default alpha, color, which is my default color, and I've got these set up in globals right here. I set up macros for everything because this just makes it easier for me to, but all my colors are set up right here: white, black, a teal, a yellow. Yeah, and the default font is called from here. So I can always reset alpha with just that. And this way, if there's ever a case where I want to make everything fade, I can do it off of this number. So I do that, and then I don't need a font, I don't think. Well, actually, I do. I want a small font. So we'll say font small. And even though I don't have that, we'll go make one real quick. Wait, I have one right here, UI small. Font UI small. There we go, and I think that's it's not quite small enough. So let's duplicate. We'll call this one tiny. Open it up and we'll lower the font size, get it down to about 8 maybe. I just want a tiny little number. And then go in here to the Jock, change this to tiny. Now I want to draw text. And now I've got my own special draw text here that's not the default one, and what it does is it takes in the X, the Y, and the text and has an optional 2 arguments for spacing or whether or not you're centering text. And if you watched my last video on this, I get more into that. But I want this to be X, Y, and then right here we'll just put in text. We'll go right here. I find it better to do these in separate, what is it, health. And let's floor that because health can have integer or have weird numbers. By flooring it, I make sure that it's a whole number. So that's going to give me the health as a whole number and put it into the text. Now the X and the Y, that'll put it on the center. I know that this is a 32 frame, so I want to put it above. So we'll go negative, I don't know, 14 or 15, 14. We'll put it just short of the edge at the X front side. And then we want this one to be like a negative 35 because it's got to go up for the font and the height of the graphic. So let's just see what that does right now. Actually, since I drew in the draw event here, I want to draw self because it otherwise the sprite won't even show up. Because if you don't draw in the draw event, it will automatically do the sprite. But if you do write in the draw event, you have to make it actually physically draw the thing. So let's do a quick little test here. Okay, let me make sure that I turned on the game. Is the game not showing up in the browser? Oh, come on. Let me do something here. That's Game Maker. Why is the game not showing up here? See, I don't know OBS and all that very well, so that's the problem I'm having here. Now, if I open up a project, it should show up in the window here, but it's not. I don't know. I think somehow closing down the game has screwed it up. I don't know. I guess that'll just have to be another video that we went far enough. Just trust me, in the next video he'll have health above his name, and I got to figure out OBS better to show this stuff off. But if this game actually becomes something that I release to the world and stuff, this will be the documentation of how it all began. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I gotta get ready to go to town, see a gal, sing her a song, show her my ding dong.